Yo, this is Soul 86 bringing you another video. So I wanted to talk about the whole college football 27 and how the community got together to create change. And it took for big content creators of the EA crowd to kind of spearhead this, right? Like Bordeaux, I think that's his name. He was the one that kind of got the ball rolling, and other big EA Sports content creators, along with the community as a whole, got together. And that is how you create change, especially when it comes to these video game companies. The creators, the content creators don't realize it. Maybe they do, maybe they just don't care. They are a part of the problem when they don't speak up. Because I've seen videos where their subscribers will say a very different opinion from what they think when it comes to microtransaction. This is just dealing with, like, all types of games, right? And now the NBA 2K community is starting to, kind of want to piggyback off what EA did, what the EA crowd did, and trying to make change, which I get and I understand that. But here's the thing, right? The EA Sports crowd and the NBA 2K crowd, I'm not going to put WWE 2K in this. I'm sticking strictly to like the simulation sports. The EA crowd and the 2K crowd are two very different crowds. I'm going to tell you why. And this will explain why it is going to be so difficult for the NBA 2K crowd to create the change that they want to see. When it comes to college football, and more importantly, when it comes to Madden, even though Madden has Madden Ultimate Team and stuff like that, and yes, Madden Ultimate Team has a lot of users. That's why it's still in the game, and that's why they still, when you go to the main menu, you're immediately met with going there before you have to, like, literally take the cursor off of that to go to any other game modes. However, the reason why hashtag Fix Madden franchise was able to take off, and I remember at that time it was trending at #1, and it was to the point where Madden couldn't ignore it. The reason why that is because, unlike the 2K crowd, people who play Madden and people who still play college football play those games for the offline modes for the most part. When they do play online, a lot of the times it is just like you're playing couch co-op. The online is hey, I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys and I'm playing against somebody who's using the Browns, so on and so forth. But for the most part, Madden, they play franchise. College football, they play Dynasty and they play Road to Glory. I think there's some people that still play like the Superstar mode in Madden, but for the most part, franchise has always been a big staple to Madden, and that's one of the reasons why Madden gets trashed every year. It's not just because the game has like funny glitches and it can be kind of broken at times. It's not just about the gameplay why Madden gets trashed a lot. It was getting trashed because their franchise mode fell so far from what it used to be during the PS2 days. Right? And this, again, it goes to show how many users that buy Madden every single year like to either, one, pick their favorite team, much like college, they pick their favorite college team, or they'll like to pick an underdog, and then they like to go through the franchise. One of the biggest reasons, like one of the biggest examples of this, if you go to YouTube, right? Go to your search bar and type in College Football Dynasty or College Football 27 Road to Glory or Madden franchise, right? You will see so many videos pop up. It's almost overwhelming. Literally, from different content creators, they are all playing the sports game in a traditional way, the way a sports game should be played. Now, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to play their game because you spend your money. It is what it is. You can do whatever you want with it, but I'm trying to paint a picture here on why this would happen with college football won't happen with 2K. If you type in NBA 2K, like my NBA, barely any videos pop up. Barely any videos pop up. But if you type in NBA 2K, just NBA 2K period, it will be, hey, look at this LeBron build. Look at this Wemby build. Look at this Kobe build. Look at this Shaq build. A lot of people doing nothing but park and nothing but the rec and my team and all of this other stuff. That is what the 2K crowd has become. And because it has become that, and it has been focused on the microtransaction part of the game, well, the company Take-Two Interactive is looking at it like, well, this is where our audience is now. This is where the audience is. Now, here's the funny thing. So before you play a game in NBA 2K, now I don't know if they still do this. The last 2K I played was 23. But during the loading screen, when you're getting ready to play a game, it will ask you a question. And if you get it right, you'll get VC. Or sometimes the question isn't even a right or wrong. You just get to select an answer and you'll get VC. So it'll say, what mode do you play the most in NBA 2K? It had like my team, it had the my career, it had NBA Today, and then it had my NBA or something like that. Like, you know, playing like their franchise mode. Overwhelmingly, I think it was like almost close to 90%. It was my career. Because the game, NBA 2K, almost shouldn't even be called NBA 2K anymore. I question whether or not the people who play NBA 2K, not just the fans alone, but the content creators themselves, I'm not even sure that they like the NBA. Now, I know the NBA sucks now, but I'm just saying, if you still really do claim to be a fan of the NBA, you're not showing it by creating a character, making them look real silly and do dumb dances and playing in the park. Because remember, NBA 2K, the community used to be a lot different. There was a time where, what was it? It was around it was during the PS4 years of NBA 2K, like 2K14. You could, at that time, type in NBA 2K in a search bar on YouTube and see nothing but the association mode. You would see people do like fantasy drafts in there, but they're playing with the actual NBA players, the NBA teams, 5v5. You were able to see that. And even when my career started to take off, you still mostly saw everybody playing the NBA games. Now, to that argument, I do understand that the way that they structure my career when you're playing the NBA games is a lot of BS, because it's made to where when your player starts getting better and your overall starts to grow, your teammates kind of become useless and you have to like play out of your mind all the time. Like, you're getting like quadruple doubles and you're scoring like so many points, and it's unrealistic. So I get why that became unfun for a lot of people. But still, the point that I'm trying to make is that all of these content creators speaking out now about NBA 2K, you should have done this a long time ago. But what did you do? You played along with it. In most cases, a lot of the times, you didn't even act like you were upset about it. You just went ahead and did it. Because most likely you get the game for free. And so the extra money that you do spend on your builds, it doesn't matter to you. And so you're meanwhile influencing your subscribers to also make multiple builds. When did that become a thing, by the way? I remember when 2K first started my career, it felt so much better before because everybody had a player that was unique. Everybody was creating themselves, and everybody was making a unique character, a character who could do something different. And now everybody's creating the same build because they're getting all of these different ideas from these content creators. And so guess what happens when you make multiple builds in 2K? You think everybody's going to slow grind it? No. They're not doing a no money spent. Not when you're planning on making like 4 or 5 builds. And so guess what? All Take-Two Interactive is seeing is cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Look, you want to know how much money they probably make off of 2K after the initial sales? It is insane. So for 2K to want to say something now about the microtransactions, I'm sorry, but it ain't happening. Too far gone. Too far gone, because the mode that is about the microtransactions the most is the most popular mode. So what are people going to do? They're going to go back to playing the 5v5, playing that sports game for the reasons Like for the traditional way of playing a sports game? You think these dudes are going to go back to playing it like that? Absolutely not. You think these content creators are going to start playing my NBA all of a sudden, my eras? It'd be nice to see that, but you don't see it at all anymore. Every time 2K comes out, I'll run across a rare channel that still plays the game, and I appreciate it. They still play the game in a traditional way. And again, I'm not trying to tell anybody that they should play a game a certain way. I'm not like the devs, but what I am saying is that 2K has a split in the community because the vast majority play the microtransaction filled mode, while a smaller percentage still play the games how we used to play the games growing up. You pick your favorite team, you pick your favorite player's team, and you run it and try to win a championship. Hell, I was somebody who, when I loved the NBA, I would not only do a my NBA season mode, but I would also do the NBA today. So I would pick a game that was going to come on because, you know, they had the list there, and I would play through the NBA today. I'm a quote unquote traditional NBA 2K player, even though I don't play the game anymore. I was always more traditional with it. So I'm sorry, 2K guys, like, it's over for you guys, man. It is absolutely over because you guys allowed this to happen. And I think a lot of casuals caught on to 2K, and it almost became like the park and the rec almost became like an arcade game, like how people loved and still do to this day NBA Street. Because what do you always hear people say when they talk about the arcade sports games from the past, like NFL Blitz and stuff like that? Like, I don't really like football, but I loved playing NFL Blitz. I still hear that today. I really don't even like sports, man, but I loved playing NBA Street and NBA Street Volume 2. I mean, hell, I even hear people say, man, I don't even like hip hop, but I love Def Jam Vendetta. It was one of my favorite games. And I feel like 2K has created that type of audience. And that's why so many people play that game just for that mode. They're not real NBA fans. Because to me, if you're a real NBA fan, and say if you, during the NBA season, say if every week you possibly can, you watch Kevin Durant, you watch Ja Morant, you watch Donovan Mitchell on the Cavs. To me, you're going to pick the Cavs and try to emulate what he does on the court. That was the whole point of a simulation game. You play the game as if you're using that team like how they would play in real life. I mean, you would, add your own style to it, but I'm just saying it's a sim. So it's just kind of like with a sim racing game. You drive the way that they drive in real life. The game is designed that way. So look, man, I'm sorry, 2K fans, but it ain't happening. It ain't happening. And the reason, right? It's the last thing I'll say before I end this video. The number one reason, and I've already mentioned it, but I just want to point this out. The reason why the college football thing took off so much is because they snuck in microtransactions in an offline single player mode. Those modes are always supposed to be left alone. Left alone. But they tried to sneak it into what the majority of the community is playing. And I think that's why they did what they did. Because in college football, there's more people playing that game for the road to glory and for the dynasty. Just like in Madden, people are playing that game for the franchise mode. And so when you sneak in microtransactions in these modes, you're really going to piss people off because it's like, whoa. You're only supposed to be nickel and dime in the MUT teams, like the Madden Ultimate Team players. You're not supposed to be doing that to us. So that's the difference. So again, I'm sorry, 2K content creators, it's not going to work because you guys have let it go too far. You should have stood up when it started to get out of hand, but you didn't. You can't just make one video about it and keep it moving and then just keep going. And when you're invited to play 2K early, nah, you can't. It doesn't work that way. That's not how you create change. If you had a problem with it before, maybe you should have did what these guys did with college football, and maybe we would have seen a different NBA 2K than we have today. Anyways, man, it's your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.